Welcome guys to episode number 9 of Mejor Inglés. I'm your host, Juan. You should know my name by now. That's right, today's show is going to be about how to pronounce the ED. The ED is obviously what you use to make the simple past of regular verbs. All right guys, so there are two main ways on how to pronounce the ED, but there are 3 different ways. So there's 3 different sounds that you make, but there's only 2 main ones, and we're gonna cover all 3 and then give you a tip about what to do with that 3rd one. The first type of pronunciation, the first pronunciation of the ED is the id sound. It sounds like an ID, but you can see on the screen how this id sound looks in pronunciation language. Basically, the id sound is by adding a new syllable at the end of a word. When a word finishes with T or D at the end, you add another syllable and you pronounce it id. For example, you have start, and the past tense of that is started. Okay, let's look at some other examples so that you know how to pronounce it. So, want, repeat after me, want, and then wanted. Good. The next example, end, ended. All right, you can hear the other syllable, end, ended. So this is adding one syllable, and this is the id pronunciation at the end. The second pronunciation of the ED is the T sound, okay? When a word finishes in a voiceless consonant, right? There's a voiceless consonant at the end, then you pronounce the T sound. Look at the first example, which is step. Step finishes in a voiceless sound. So when you put your hand here and you say p, like step at the end, then you can't feel any vibration here. This means that it's voiceless. And the simple past pronunciation is stepped. You pronounce like a T at the end, stepped. You don't add another syllable. You just say T at the end. Let's look at the other examples so that you can practice. We have the word laugh. How would you say that in the simple past? You say laughed. Laughed. Okay, the next one is watch. And the pronunciation of that is watched. Okay, just another T at the end, watched. Very good. Now, we're gonna look at the 3rd sound. The 3rd sound of the ED, the simple past, is the D sound. And you use a D sound at the end of the simple past when the last consonant is voiced. Okay, so for example, you have the word play. That's our first example. When you put your hand here and you say play, you can feel the vibrations of the Y at the very end, play. So the pronunciation of the simple past here is played. Okay, just like a D, played. Let's look at the other examples so that you can practice. The next example is allow. And you say in the simple past, allowed. Allowed. Very good. The next example is beg. And the pronunciation of this in the simple past is begged. I begged you. Now we're gonna go to our next segment, which is the expression of the day, to have a ball. Okay, so we're gonna look at that briefly. All right guys, today's expression of the day is to have a ball. Today's expression is not so much about business, it's more of a thing that you would use in personal life. Obviously, to have a ball means to have a really good time. Okay, when you're in a party or you're out with friends and you're having a nice time, you can say that you're having a ball. Okay, have a ball. Now, you can also say to have a blast. I'm sure you've heard that one before. But a ball is a formal dance. When you have a dance at the end of your school years, like graduation, this is a ball. It's a formal dance. Okay guys, so when you're having a nice time, you're out with friends and you want to tell them that you're having a nice time, tell them that you're having a ball. This might surprise them with your use of an expression. All right? You have a nice day, guys, and keep having a ball. So, as a recap, I want to mention the fact that there are three distinct, different sounds. Right? Distinct means different. Three different sounds for the ed. There's the id sound, which is adding another syllable. There's the t and also the d. Now, you're a student, and I've been a teacher for a long time, so you're probably thinking to yourself, my God, how am I going to remember all of these things? So I'm here to give you a little tip. How will you know which pronunciation to use? Just focus on the two main sounds, okay? The two main sounds of the ed is the id adding a new syllable and then the t. So basically, I just want you to remember for now those two. When a word finishes with a d or a t, you're going to say id. For example, start, started. And then in all the other cases, just pronounce like a t, because people will understand you even if you mispronounce it. Now we're going to go to our next segment, which is actually a word from our sponsors, Progressive English Service. Si usted tiene una persona que necesita mejorar el inglés, yo les recomiendo que lo invite a llamar a Progressive English Services. Ellos tienen cursos personalizados y le garantizan el manejo del idioma de inglés, y puede contactarlos al enlace que está aquí debajo en la descripción o llamando al 809-732-5150 o visitando la página web pes.com.do. Thank you for watching the show, and remember, of course, to share this video with anyone that you think would find it useful. Remember to like the video here and on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at El Mejor Inglés. And of course, remember to subscribe, okay? Subscribe, because this definitely helps us to be seen more on YouTube, and therefore you're gonna get better content. All right, guys, thank you very much for being here, and see you next time. This side?
Yeah, around your ear.